Look, as a teammate of Chris's, when he gets a big switched out onto him on the perimeter, are you watching to see what's going to happen next, or what goes through?
Space out. You know, Coach talks about all the time is, you know, our spacing. You know, we have to punish teams for switching 1 through 5 like that. And, you know, like I just heard Chris say, we prepare for any type of defense, and we watch a lot of basketball. And where we've been most successful in that situation is space out. So every time he shoots it, we think it's going in.
Dwayne?
Yes, Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Devin, you went retro with this look right here. This is like 90s. They used to dress after games in the finals. But wanted to ask about Giannis. Were you expecting him to play tonight? I mean, or were you unsure whether he was going to step out there?
I honestly had no idea, but we did prepare for both. So, you know, I kind of took our energy away from worrying about that and just locking in what we have to do as a team because, you know, I've said it before, we focus on, you know, ourselves more than anything. But obviously he's a big factor to the game, and, you know, that can be a whole entirely different game. And just scouting, not saying they're better one way or the other, but, you know, we had 2 different game plans as if he was playing or he wasn't.
Like was a key tonight that maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but you feel like you guys did this particularly well that led to the win?
Just team defense, communication through everybody. You know, we understand we don't want to make it a make or miss game. You know, we want to make teams miss, and we want to guard at the highest level. So, you know, that's where we've been successful is, you know, just banking on that. I think that Clipper game when it was 71-70 for 6 minutes straight, we're not making a bucket, but we're not letting them score either. So that's where we hang our hats on is our defense end, and, you know, we'll make it work on the other end.
Thanks, Devin.
Thank you.
Mark?
Hey, Devin, Monty was praising you and DA and Chris for having a lot of talks throughout the season about how to make that dynamic work and maximize the potential. What do those talks entail, and why do you think it's worked so well?
Just like Chris whispered to me when he was walking out, he was like, we've been on his ass. and we have, and that's why, you know, Chris can say that's who he's most proud of, and I feel the same way because sometimes you walk around the court, Chris will be talking to him, I'll be waiting right there. You done, Chris? All right, now let me go tell him something. So we're all in his ear, we're all on him, and for him to retain all that information and come perform at, you know, at the level that he's been performing is, you know, it's hard to put words to it because we have been tough on him. And, you know, he has went through his phases in his NBA career, but since this playoffs have started, you've seen his maturity and his growth, you know, grow to a whole nother level. And, you know, he's continuing to get better, and his willingness to learn. You know, now instead of me coming up to him, he might come to me and be like, what should I do when this happens? So just little things like that, man. And, you know, he still has even more in the tank that, you know, he's going to show soon.
Melissa?
Did you have a moment tonight when this all hit you like, wow, this is a moment that I've been dreaming about my entire career and I'm finally here?
Tonight it was tough. When we had practice, when we walked in, they have the finals displayed on every TV. You know, it kind of hit me, but, you know, it's kind of hard to reflect on what's going on when we're in it.
Kellen, right here on 2.
What up, Kellen?
The 16 you guys scored at the start of the game, they were all in the paint. You guys had the free throws way up tonight. Do you think that's when the offense is at its best, when you guys are aggressive like that?
Yeah. You know, we always want to be the initiator of the game and, you know, start it off the right way and, you know, put pressure on the paint. You know, when we put pressure on the rim like that, it opens up other opportunities for people. Everybody on the floor can shoot and can space. So we know when we get downhill that, you know, we can make something happen for a team, whether it's score the ball or swing it to the opposite side and get an open shot.
What were you seeing specifically that you liked in terms of attacking? Because you were there.
Yeah, just what you said, just, you know, asserting ourselves into the game, you know, early. You know, I think the games that we've struggled this year, you know, we were fighting uphill the whole game and starting off down 15, 20 points. But, you know, I think when we come out with that pace and that energy, how it should be for a finals game, you know, we're going to leave ourselves in a pretty good shape.
Thanks, Buck.
Thank you.
Brian on the left.
I think you said before, whenever Chris shoots it, you guys think it's going in. That third quarter, it pretty much did almost.
Yeah.
What did that do for you guys' confidence? That, you know, it was a close game for the first half. No one had a double-digit lead, and then kind of, you know, what does that show you when your guy has it rolling like that?
I mean, it gives you all the confidence in the world. like I said, we hang our hat on the defense end, and anything that we're getting offensively is a plus. That's how we try to look at things as this team. So, just guarding, and when we can give it to Chris like that and let him isolation any team that is trying to switch 1 through 5, we're in good shape.
Palmer, do you on Zoom?
Next is going to be Jovan Buha with The Athletic.
Hey, Book. I wanted to ask you about Mikhail's performance tonight and his defense on Chris Middleton, and then also offensively him getting out in transition.
Yeah, I mean, he had the toughest assignment tonight in guarding Chris, especially the way Chris had it rolling. But, we've been stressing to him all the time, just make it hard on him. He's going to make tough shots, but just always be in the right place. And when he's out in transition, playing with his length and his speed, he's a tough coverage. So if guys want to, sleep on him or whatever you want to call it, he can make you pay. And teams are going to understand, that's not the guy to leave open, or that's not the guy to leave in transition, because he will make you pay.
Next is Kirsten Susel with 12 News.
Hey, Buck, going off that question of just kind of being able to recognize the moment of being at the finals, at this point, do you still ever get butterflies or get anxious, anything like that? And were you dealing with any of it on your way to the arena or going through warm-ups?
I just get really excited. That's pretty much it. Us as a team and, trusting everybody in this locker room, from coaching staff, the training staff, all the way down to the players. It's kind of hard to get butterflies because you understand your brother has your back. It takes a lot of pressure off you when good or bad that you're going to be in the game, you're going to be competing to win. So, for me, that relieves a lot, and I'm sure all the other guys feel that, you're not pressured to go out there and play a perfect game. You can go out there and play your game, whether you're making or missing shots. I keep saying it, we're going to be on the other end defending.
Next up is Mark Schwartz with ESPN.
Look, as we've talked about, Chris is 36 years old. We know he's going to the Hall of Fame. But, when they induct him, they're going to talk about his leadership. They're going to talk about his playmaking. But now they're going to have to talk about the 73 points he scored in the last 2 games. I mean, this guy is now a bucket too.
Chris Paul's been a bucket, man. I mean, he obviously, he gets his team involved. He is the greatest leader, to play this game, but he's been a bucket for a very long time. And, in my 6 years of playing against him, or 5 years of playing against him, you understand that, there's no scouting report that says Chris Paul can't get a bucket.
We'll take final 2 questions here, Malika and Ramona.
Hey, Book. I'm just wondering, Jay Crowder, he doesn't score until late, but he's the only guy here on either team who'd had playoff or finals experience coming in. Could you feel that at all, his impact being a little bit different than any other guy who hadn't been there?
Just the leadership, you understand he's been there before. Our whole team understands he was just there last year, so we bank on him for that gritness, that toughness. I think a big part of the game was him taking the charge on Giannis down there underneath, just making Giannis think that, you just can't go through him every time, because he's a strong base. His shot didn't fall tonight, but as history speaks, we know it will and it can. But he impacts the game in so many different other ways. And whether he's making a shot, whether he's playing good defense, he's always communicating with our team and talking to guys and giving any type of pointers and being honest with them. I always talk about honesty with our team, and, when somebody's slacking, just letting them know. And even if it's aggressive, we have a team that, can relay that information and don't take it personal. And, Jay's one of them guys that, if you're slipping up, he's going to get on you. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Book. Mark, Ramona Shelburne with ESPN. Mark mentioned earlier, Chris is 36. We talked about this a lot. A couple of years ago, people were talking about him like he was done, like his contract was too big, or he kept getting hurt at the wrong time. You're such a student of the game. I'm sure you watched that, and I'm wondering how those words landed with you, but also how you've just seen him yourself with your own eyes this last year, and how he's sort of reconfigured himself now.
Yeah, anybody that counted Chris Paul out, we just went down this track record of, he's walking in the Hall of Fame first ballot, so you can't ever count any guy out that has, done the things that he's done on the court. So, you know, if I hear things like that, which I did, you know, I take it as complete nonsense. You know, if he doesn't play another game for us, you can still pay him his contract. His effect's that big. You know what I'm saying? So he moves his team. He leads his team daily. And just having him in the locker room, I'm not even talking about anything he does on the court, takes the team to that next level.
Just as a quick follow-up, I don't know if you were close enough to the dribble that he did on Bobby Portis today. Have you ever been on the other side of one of those? And how terrifying is it to be on defense when somebody can do that, whatever we want to call it?
I'm locking that up. That has nothing to do with me, Bobby Portis. I'm locking C up. I tell him all the time.
But what do we call
it's
that?
tough. It's tough. You know, he's a tough guard. You know, he's one of those guys that you take one thing away, he does the other. You know, it might sound simple, but, you know, he just takes what the defense gives him, and the ability to shoot the ball and score the ball from any spot on the court just makes you really tough to guard.
Thanks, Bud.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.